Ah, the Pothos. If you've got a houseplant, there's a pretty good chance it's one of these beauties. I mean, they're gorgeous, they're super forgiving, and you see them everywhere. But let's be real. Are you getting the most out of yours?
No, really, take a second and think about it. Is that amazing vining pothos of yours just kind of sitting there, on a shelf, maybe a countertop, just existing, instead of really making your space pop?
And hey, there's absolutely no judgment there. We all do it. It's the classic move for a reason. But what if I told you that that lush trailing plant you have is hiding some serious design potential?
Yeah, it is time to think beyond the windowsill. So let's dive in and look at 9 super creative, totally doable ways to style your pothos and turn it from just a plant into a real centerpiece of your home.
First things first, we're going to look up. Using your vertical space is an absolute game changer, especially if you're in a smaller apartment. It just draws your eye upward, adds a ton of drama, and gives you all that lush green feel without cluttering up the floor.
So, idea number 1, you knew this was coming. It's a classic for a reason. We have to start with the macrame hanger. It is the absolute icon of that boho chic style, and it just works.
And here's why it's so perfect. You're just letting the pothos do what it naturally wants to do, which is trail down beautifully. Those cascading vines just immediately soften up all the hard lines and corners in a room. And if you're a renter, this is your best friend. All that beautiful greenery with zero footprint. Oh, and I love this tip. Try using colored ropes to match your decor for that extra little touch of personality.
Okay, idea number 2. Let's talk about turning a simple ladder stand into a little paradise for your plants. Stop thinking of it as just storage, and start thinking of it as a jungle gym for your pothos.
This is just so charming, isn't it? It creates this incredible lush focal point in a room. You can let your pothos just weave its vines all through the rungs. And that tip about adding fairy lights? Oh, come on, that's genius. Just imagine that cozy, magical glow in the evening.
Now, for idea number 3, we are tackling a problem that I think we all have. That one weird empty corner that just feels impossible to decorate. Well, guess what? Your pothos is about to solve that problem.
This is how you take a total dead zone and turn it into a really intentional design feature. The trailing vines literally soften that hard 90-degree angle, which makes the whole room feel more organic and flowy. And here's a pro tip. For an extra polished look, try painting the mount itself in a contrasting color, like a chic matte black or a glam gold. It just looks so sharp.
All right, moving on, let's talk about integrating your pothos with the furniture you already own, because you don't always have to go out and buy something new. Sometimes it's about making your plant feel like it was always meant to be there.
Okay, so shelves are obviously a natural spot for plants, right? But the kind of shelf you use can create a completely different feeling. So let's look at 2 ideas here, our 4th and 5th styling tips: the sleek, modern floating shelf versus the cozy, classic bookshelf.
It really all comes down to the aesthetic you're going for. If your home is very clean, very modern, those floating shelves are going to be perfect. But if you're aiming for that cozy, literary jungle kind of vibe, then weaving a pothos through your bookshelf is just chef's kiss.
I just love these descriptions. With a floating shelf, the pothos really does become living artwork. Those cascading vines are the absolute star of the show. But on a bookshelf, it's more like a leafy bookmark, spilling over the edges and breaking up the lines of the books. It adds so much life.
Okay, for our 6th idea, let's talk about a spot that almost everybody overlooks, but it just might be one of the absolute best places for a pothos in your entire home.
This is such a brilliant hack. Seriously, that space on top of the fridge is usually a little warm from the motor, and it gets great indirect light, which is basically a pothos paradise. Plus, it frees up all that precious counter space. And then, over time, as those vines start to trail down the side, you get this incredible living green waterfall right in your kitchen. All right, for our final section, we are getting really creative. This is where we stop just putting the plant on stuff, and we start turning the plant itself into the actual art.
So let's dive right into 2 ideas that can totally change the whole atmosphere of a room. Our 7th idea is perfect for a living room, and our 8th is all about the bathroom.
The curtain rod idea? It's so easy, and the best part? No tools needed. You just gently guide the vines to wrap around the rod, and suddenly, you're framing your window with living greenery. And the bathroom. Oh, the bathroom is a pothos' happy place. It loves all that humidity. Just pop one on a shelf, maybe add a few candles, and bam, you've created your own personal little spa. And that brings us to our 9th and final idea, the ultimate expression of pothos creativity. I mean, why go out and buy art when you can literally grow it right on your wall?
Now, this might sound complicated, but I promise you, it's just 3 super simple steps. First, you just plan your shape. Think of a zigzag, maybe a heart, whatever you like. Then, you place a few clear, damage-free clips along that path. And finally, you just gently guide the vine. That's it. As it grows, it will fill in your design, creating this living, breathing piece of art that is totally unique to you.
So after going through all these ideas, I think the biggest takeaway is this: there are no rules here. It's really all about finding a style that feels right for your space and your personality.
And that really says it all, doesn't it? When you take the time to style your Pothos, you're not just adding a decoration. You're curating a vibe. You're bringing this warm, living, personal energy into your home. So whether you end up fixing that awkward corner, creating that green waterfall in your kitchen, or maybe even growing your own art right on the wall, the possibilities are pretty much endless. The only real question is, what are you going to try first?